again this year and coming off a really good state championship again last year and third place in nationals in the kit competition and sixth in jazz. That's no easy feat in itself, going to nationals and taking on all those great squads that get to nationals. So credit to Coach Johannesmeyer and the team for accomplishing that feat. We're going to talk to her, but we're also going to talk to senior co-captains Anna Sims and JoLee Guthrie Denton. They're going to come up here and just kind of talk to us about how it is to be on a dance team in this pandemic-stricken season where everything's virtual for dance. They're still dancing, they're still competing, but they're sending everything in virtual, and I'm just curious how that is working out so far this year. And then some other logistics, that happens when you're a dance team, with COVID-19 and social distancing. You really can't do that when you're a dance team because you get close to each other. So just some odds and ends that I'm just kind of curious about how they're navigating that course this season there, partner.
Yeah, no doubt. We've talked about off here a lot, just the challenge of being a high school kid or a high school coach during a time like this has just got to be I'm glad I'm not dealing with it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's for sure.
Let you know our sponsor for the Boomer Coaches Show is High Plains Tire, if I can talk. It's where your dollar goes further, and so do your tires. And I just recently got tires from them to get ready for the season because I needed new tires, and they have been outstanding to work with, partner.
Oh, yeah. My family goes there quite a bit, too, as well. My dad trusts them with getting all of his tires.
Well, with that, we'll get off here for our first break of the evening. And on the other side of the break, we're going to have senior co-captains Anna Sims and JoLee Guthrie Denton of the Boomer Dance Team with us. This is the Boomer Coaches Show on Z92.
Life never stops moving. Between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety you expect, you can lose track of the miles and focus on what really matters, the memories made along the way. Stop in today at 2220 Main in Woodward to see your local Michelin dealer, High Plains Tire.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Can I touch this? Where does sand come from? Is this tree good for climbing? What happens if I mix these two things together? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Storing your guns securely is the best way to prevent family fire, including unintentional shootings. For more information on safe gun storage and ways to keep your family safe, visit endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org.
What do we keep in the attic? What's this thing called? Can I ride my bike backwards?
Like I said, kids are curious. It's up to us to keep them safe. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
While serving in Iraq, an IED took both my legs, but it didn't take my spirit.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Greg Gadsden, Army veteran.
DAV helps veterans and their families get the benefits they've earned.
Today, I'm an entrepreneur, photographer, and public speaker.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory is just being the best that I can be.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
And welcome back to Long Shots Bar and Grill in historic downtown Woodward. And forgot to tell you, if you want to ask any questions to our guest on the show tonight or ask anything to us, you can call us at 580-256-3692, or you can text 405-204-4246. That is my personal phone number. So just use it for texting, nothing else, 405-204-4246. And be nice with your questions. Be nice to our guest. And joining us now, speaking of our guest, our senior co-captains from the dance team, Anna Sims and JoLee Guthrie Denton. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Sorry to interrupt your eating, but we got to take care of some business. Let's talk about Anna. Coming off another very successful season and winning state last year, describe the leadership role you now have to assume as a senior this year on this team, and how does that change in your preparation?
Every year I've been on dance team, we've had really good leaders, and they've taught us how to lead. And I think one of the best ways to lead is by example and just by uplifting others and encouraging.
And JoLee, this is a season that is unprecedented with the COVID-19 pandemic. Describe what practices are like right now, and how do you social distance being part of a dance team, which usually requires you to be very close to each other?
Well, we had to start out our season with virtual tryouts, which was definitely a different kind of experience. And I can tell you that stressing about making the perfect video is much more stressful than just trying out in person, getting a one and done. So that was just a little bit different this year. And as for practice, we're just training right now, trying to get our skills down for later in the season. So we try to maintain a 6 feet distance and just practicing as a unit, but just spread out.
Now, if you stress as much as these kids nowadays stress about getting the perfect TikTok, I can understand
Oh yeah,
the
stress
stress of
is
getting
there.
the perfect video
Stress
for
level's
dance.
there.
So,
Yeah, and this could be for either one of you. Obviously, the Woodward Boomers dance team has pretty much been a dynasty here. I mean, they've been, you could look back now years and years, and they've just been getting after it. What's been the toughest part, and either one of you take this, about upholding and living up to that kind of legacy?
I think that it has to do a lot with, it's just a lot of pressure put on you by the school, I think, and it's always like, if you don't do this good, then you're just not good at all. And which is kind of like a weird thing to think of, because
Right.
like if we like take second or third, like we're like, oh my gosh, we're still like that's so good and we're proud of ourselves. But I think it also gives like a good drive at practice, being able just to be like, we have a name to uphold because of the people that came before us. So we're like, we need to work hard and get there. It's not really about the outcome for us. It's just about knowing that we put enough work in to know that we did our best.
well, I was an athlete and in the band through college myself, and that took a lot of time. So, Anna, I was just curious, how many hours a week do you practice, and how do you balance practice and studies?
On a normal school week, we usually come at 7 a.m. and practice for about an hour and a half to 2 hours every morning for 5 days a week. And then as we get closer to the competition season, we'll practice sometimes on weekends or pretty much as we can. Um, we don't really care if it's a weekend. We just will practice. But as for balancing with studies, it sometimes gets difficult, but usually we're all on top of it.
And JoLee, congrats on your Miss Woodward runner-up finish.
Thank you.
Appreciate that, and I'm sure that was a great honor and a lot of fun to do. Because
For sure.
thank goodness we're still having those kind of things. You know, everything's been shut down, but congratulations on that. How long have you been dancing, and what advice would you give maybe the young girls out there that want to be a dancer, and more importantly, a boomer dancer?
Well, I'm on my 14th year of dancing. That's a big difference. 14th year. And as for advice for younger girls just getting into this activity, it's a lot of trial and error. And before you get something down, you're often just going to fail at it at first, because once you start something, like, you got to be able to work past like all of the hardships of it. And preparing for dance team, I think you just have to be able to know that you have to be a team player and be able to push yourself to work hard, but also just not doing it for yourself, but for those around you. Because I think one thing about the dance team is knowing that you're not dancing just for individuality, like it's purely a team unit. And so just being able to work with the others around you, I guess.
And this question can be for both of you or one of you. What lessons can dancing teach you about your everyday life? Meaning, how can dancing help you do anything in your everyday lives, like discipline? I mean, how does that correlate into your lives?
I think, like JoLee said, dance team is a very much a unit kind of team, and we all know we're dancing for each other and for our school, and we're representing something bigger. And that's just, I think, a good thing to take into your everyday life. It's not all about you. You're doing something for a bigger and greater cause, and I think that's probably one of the biggest lessons I've learned.
And the final question for both of you: what are your plans after high school? I'll let Anna or JoLee take it.
I want to try out for some sort of pom squad going into college. I would be thrilled if I was able to dance for OSU or OBU. I really love those schools, and I want to be able to major to have something to do with sports medicine and possibly become an orthopedic surgeon. So yeah, just I really want to continue my dance career on in the first 4 years of my college life.
Well, as an OSU alum, we would be thrilled to have you. I had to put that in.
He's got to make the
folks.
pitch, you know.
That's right.
what he's gotta do.
Exactly. What about you, Anna?
I plan on attending a Christian college in Arkansas called Harding University
Okay.
and majoring in speech pathology.
Very cool. Well, I have to ask this. You guys are always serious when we see you, and you're very mesmerizing, and just any other positive adjective is just awesome to watch you. I have him do halftime shows
How
at
are they?
basketball.
They
I
good?
have him do it because I want to watch you guys.
Well, thanks.
He
Yes,
is.
Thank
I'm
you.
just
On it.
mesmerized by
Yeah.
just precision. I mean,
It's
all
top,
the other
it's
good
top
adjectives.
level
It's
stuff.
awesome.
I mean, it's
We
truly elite.
appreciate it.
But since you
Thank
guys
you.
are so serious on the floor, I got to know, class clown. Who is the class clown of the dance team? Who is the jokester?
I think it could be me most
It's
of the
you.
time. I'm not gonna lie.
There's a lot of
We're pretty funny girls.
yeah.
I'm not,
There's a lot of us that are.
I'm gonna give a shout out to juniors Madison and Aaron. They give us some good times in the morning. We can always get a good
Yeah,
laugh at them.
That is true.
Well, ladies, I appreciate you coming on here. Good luck the rest of the year, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right, that was the seniors Anna Sims and JoLee Guthrie Denton, co-captains of the Boomer dance team. On the other side of the break, we're going to have the head coach herself. That's Taryn Johannesmeyer on the other side. This is the Boomer Coaches Show on Z92.
Why watch the big games alone when you could stop by Long Shots Bar and Grill to catch all the action? Long Shots offers the best entertainment in Northwest Oklahoma. It's open Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., Saturday 11 a.m. to 2 a.m., and Sunday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Enjoy live music, great food, and drinks while you catch all the big games. There's always fun to be had at Long Shots Bar and Grill. Call 580-256-1467. Book your next birthday bash or big reunion, then come on down to 810 Main Street to party with Long Shots Bar and Grill.
Our connections make powerful things happen, uniting individuals and communities. We are Rotary. We are people of action. And together, we turn great ideas into reality by accessing our networks, our experience, and the best of ourselves to make a difference. Around the world, Rotary brings leaders together to build new friendships and to solve problems. Like in Austria, where generations work side by side to build sustainable housing and community centers. In India, volunteers run a mobile blood bank to help provide a steady blood supply for their local community. And in Taiwan, people are working hard to get vulnerable citizens the support and services they need. With over 1 million members, we know what people can do when they come together. Take action with us. Find out more at rotary.org/action.
Undo their whiteness and affirm their complicity in racism, internalize racial superiority and whiteness, dismantling the police.
All these clowns.
Congresswoman Omar's call for dismantling the entire system.
But not one circus tent.
I'm like, oh, is this the new normal?
Step right up.
And the mob and the media helping them every step of the way.
To Sean Hannity.
At what point do you say that this is going to end really badly?
Weekdays at 2 on the Tri-States News Talk Station, Z92.
And welcome back to Long Shots Bar and Grill. Brock Campbell, Tyler Riggs with you as we are downtown at the historic Woodward downtown here live from Long Shots. And joining us like she did last year is the head coach of the Boomer dance team, Taryn Johannesmeyer. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Good. Great to have you back on the show again this year. Successful year last year once again, won state as well again. Also got to compete at nationals, which you were really excited about. Got third in kick, sixth in jazz. But I kind of want to get a coach's perspective with this kind of year we're having. Describe the differences this year in terms of being the coach of the dance team in regards to other years.
Honestly, we are so fortunate to live in the area that we do right now. So I mean, there's a few changes, but for the most part, we're moving forward just like we would any other year. Obviously, trying to keep the girls a little further apart in practice whenever we can, and keep them healthy. And then I think you guys had talked about a little bit with the other girls, but our state unfortunately did go virtual, and we're not really excited about that. But the girls handled it like champs. These kids are so I guess dealing with these issues better than I probably am. they were upset for about 15 minutes, and they were like, okay, this is the cards we got dealt. Let's go. Let's move on. So, but as far as preparing, we're not doing anything different.
And you obviously have a ton of girls try out every year for the team. what are some of the main things, so they're taking notes at home, hopefully, that you're looking for in a dancer to become part of the dance team?
We actually, believe it or not, do not have very many girls try out for dance team.
Really?
Yes, and I wish that those numbers would grow. But I just think that our team has been so successful over the last several years that girls just kind of know from a really young age if this is something they want to do or something they don't want to do. So we really don't have that many try out. I hope to be able to change that in the future. I'm kind of I started an all-star pom program for little girls this year to kind of give people a chance to do it that maybe couldn't afford dance lessons and things. So I'm hoping I'm kind of like Kids Inc. when they're playing basketball and soccer. I'm hoping that's what I'm doing with this, but we'll see.
Well, I just put a plug out there for you. So you want to get coached? Johannesmeyer is looking for some girls to coach. So.
Yes. Yeah, my good big question here is, over the years as a coach, as an instructor, have you kind of reinvented yourself, improved, got better in that perspective from year to year?
I just think that you have to look at the team just like any other coach. Every year you come in, you have to look at your team and what are their strengths and what are their weaknesses. And as much as like we do the exact same thing every year, we kind of don't, and you have to play off of those. Like this year I have a really, really strong tumbling team, which is kind of unusual for dance. I have a lot of really strong tumblers, and so we're having to play with that, whereas I may not have as many strong like turners as I have in the past or leapers, but they're all stepping up to the plate and doing what I'm asking of them. So,
well, as we said, everything's virtual this year, meaning you have to submit your routine virtually to the judges. Now, I'm just curious, as opposed to being in person for the judges, in your opinion, how difficult is it going to be for the judges to judge the routines without being in person to see them?
I think the judges are going to have an incredibly difficult time. The emotions not going to be there like it would be in person. Right. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, they're not going to watch it more than once. It's going to be a one and done thing. Surely it will be, but fingers crossed on that one. But I think they're going to have an incredibly tough job to do that. But then like the girls too, I hate for them that they're not going to get that adrenaline rush as performing in front of an audience and like stepping onto the state floor. But just kind of a mental aspect that we're going to have to add to it that we haven't had to in the past.
Yeah, no doubt. And one more kind of question over the years, reflective back, but obviously being an instructor, you teach these girls a lot, be a role model for them. What have they taught you, all the groups you've had over the years, is just, as a person?
Oh my gosh, they have taught me more than I could ever.
You're gonna get her to cry.
I'm sorry.
I'm a crier. I'm sorry. No. I honestly used to be one of the most uptight, least patient people in the entire world, believe it or not. And they would probably disagree with you that I'm still that way. But I have relaxed so much just being with them, and just like they have taught me, like, instead of like saying like you can't do this, that just over and over again, they've proven me wrong, and that I had to switch my my thinking in that, which is incredible. They've taught me more than they ever know that they've taught me.
Now, what do your competitions look like? Obviously, you got to submit your video. Do you have districts, or you just go straight to state?
Okay, so we have a regionals, and that's in Tulsa. And actually, that one we are getting to go to in person. No spectators. Nice. Yeah, no spectators, which still is going to play into the adrenaline factor for the girls. But it will give us a good run-through of what that's going to feel like, I think, just shooting our videos. So we're going to Tulsa November 21st, and then there's actually a group of coaches that were kind of upset with state going virtual so soon, and so they're letting us, they're having a Halloween competition on October 31st in Bartlesville.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, really far drive for us, but we are going.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
If someone's going to give us a chance to perform, we're going to do it. So,
yeah. So is that a competition where you guys are going to dress up?
Probably not. I mean, we'll wear our costumes, but yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, Halloween
night,
competition, theme night, yes, exactly.
I really thought when I told the girls about this competition, they were going to be like, "No, we're not missing Halloween." Like, and they were like, "No, like chance to perform, we're on the bus." Like,
yeah.
Nostradamus here. Halloween's probably going to be canceled.
I'm hoping. Yeah.
So it's going to happen. No trick or treating.
You're
probably.
going to get some hate mail for that.
I know. I'm getting a text. No, I'm kidding. Other than the two girls that we have here, JoLee and Anna, who are the other leaders on this team?
We actually have a really unusual year. I actually have 13 juniors and seniors on the team this year.
Wow.
So I have a ton of upperclassmen. All of them are being amazing leaders, stepping into roles that I've needed of them. Other seniors are Tatum Lewis, who I don't know if you saw her dance at Miss Woodward, but unbelievable, talented. Caroline Price, Dance at Miss Woodward, great dancer, great turner. Chloe Marlette can leap like no other. I think you guys have probably seen her on the basketball court before too.
Yeah.
And Catherine Laverty, great leader. So some strong juniors as well.
How different are football games going to be this year? I've noticed that you haven't gone to a couple of our away games. Is that by design? The OSSAA is just not allowing you guys to go?
I think our school made that decision, which, you can kind of support. That's a lot of kids smashed in a bus. And
Sure.
Honestly, as a coach who's trying to keep them healthy, I get it. It sucks. But the girls were kind of disappointed. But I understand the decision that they had made, and I think that's in the long run going to be how we keep them healthy longer. But home football games shouldn't change on our end unless they mask us up.
Oh, man. Going forward, you just mentioned all the upperclassmen leadership. Who are a couple of names out there in the underclassmen that we should be kind of on the lookout for in the future here?
Like I said, I have a really strong group of juniors. Zoe Taylor, she's an incredible dancer. I think the girl dances 14 or 15 hours a week. She'll definitely go on to dance in college. Emerson McDonald's a junior, and she's strong. Peyton Childers, all the freshmen all the juniors are really strong. I've got some good, strong tumblers in my freshmen, and I only have, like I said, two sophomores and 2 freshmen. So we got some building to do after that. But I think it's crazy. Those girls know from the time they walk into their first Boomer dance team practice that, like, we mean business, and after you break them in their freshman year, they're ready to go.
So, last question here. What advice would you give the little girls out there that want to get involved in dance, and what disciplines should they learn in order to maybe be a Boomer dancer one day?
I would say commitment. Like, if you are going to be committed to it, then, like, find a time every single day to, even if it's 5, 10, 15 minutes and that's it, that you're going to stretch or that you're going to work on turns or whatever. Like, I don't think it's necessarily they even have to be in a dance class all the time. Just something. These girls are so committed. We practice for 2 hours every single morning, and if I tell them, hey, girls, your turns weren't looking good tonight, I can promise you there's 10 of them up at the gym later that evening working on their turns. So I would just say that commitment. Just find a time every single day to make yourself better.
Well, Coach, I am probably not out of line in saying this. We have the best dance coach in the state here in Woodward.
I mean, it's proven. The history's there.
Yeah,
the trophies.
The track record is definitely there.
I have to put a plug in really quick because we just found out like an hour before the show started that we are in the running to win free flights to nationals.
Oh, wow.
This year.
There you go.
So
very cool.
Find our Facebook page and find that link and vote for us.
Where's nationals this week?
Orlando, Florida.
And that's going to be in person?
In February. So far, yes.
So far. All right. Fingers crossed. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Coach Johannesmeyer, for being on again. We appreciate it. We love having you on.
Thank you.
And that was Coach Taryn Johannesmeyer, the dance team coach for the Boomer team. And on the other side of the break, we're going to have a couple football players joining us. It'll be senior offensive lineman, defensive lineman Zain Samarco, and the sophomore wide receiver, defensive back Talen Laird. This is a Boomer Coaches Show on Z92.
If driving is more of a passion for you than a mode of transportation, you may have some BF Goodrich in your blood. Utilizing advanced tread designs and special rubber compounds, BF Goodrich Ultra High Performance tires strive to provide the extreme grip you need to accelerate faster, corner harder, and brake shorter. Learn more by visiting us today. High Plains Tire has the expert tire service you need to take your car's performance to the next level. Specific performance may vary by tire model.
I left the military with a traumatic brain injury. I came home to fight depression, anxiety, and alcohol.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Adam Greathouse, Army veteran.
DAV helps veterans get the benefits they've earned.
With DAV's help, I've built a new life for myself.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory is just experiencing life.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
In January of 2017, I was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia.
That no child dies in the dawn of life.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
And welcome back to Long Shots Bar and Grill. Brock Campbell, Tyler Riggs. Continuing the show, if you want to give us a call, 580-256-3692. Ask any questions to our panelist or guest, I guess you would say. Or you can text 405-204-4246. And now we get to our football portion of the Boomer Coaches Show. And joining us right now is sophomore wide receiver defensive back Talen Laird and senior offensive lineman, defensive lineman, Zain Samarco. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Good, good. Well, Talen, I'm going to start with you. Man, boy, me and my partner have really noticed it too in the scrimmages and now 2 games into the season. Your improvement is night and day since last season. What did you do in the off season and during Summer Pride to get back to get better both at wide receiver and defensive back?
Well, you know, my brother, he plays football at SWASU, so when he comes home, we kind of just go up to the field and, you know, we just work on cutting and routes and getting the footwork right, just the movement of being a defensive back and stuff. And Boomer Pride really helped getting the strength and the coordination that you need to be a receiver and a DB up. And it's just
making some holes for Nash or Parker, whoever.
Really just our footwork and trying to outplay him is really what we're going to have to do on Friday.
That's a tall task to do right there. He's a beast. But Talen, for you, man, still a younger player, obviously. You're still learning a lot on both sides of the ball. So far, do you have a preference on your position, offense or defense?
I think definitely being a wide receiver.
I knew the answer to that one before he even answered.
Yeah. You know, sometimes I don't get the call from the sideline, so I'll be looking around and trying to find it out. On offense, you know, you just get in the huddle and you listen for what you got and you go out there and run it, you know. It's nothing too hard.
And that leads me into my next question for you, Talen. Obviously, you like being wide receiver a lot more, but describe the chemistry. We got 2 really good quarterbacks in Wyatt and Sam. Describe the chemistry with the wide receivers and the quarterbacks this season, knowing that you're more spread this year.
Well, I think our passing game has been really good in the last couple of games. It's really helped us gain yards on possessions that we have like 3rd and long or something like that. Wyatt Pope, he's a really good QB, and Sam came in and stepped up a lot in our Clinton game, so I think that's what got him the starting job last week against Bethany. And he's just been really showing out in practice and in games, putting up big numbers for us, and it's really helping us improve in our passing game.
Zain, I've got a question for you. Okay, we break the huddle here. As an offensive lineman, you guys are going to the line of scrimmage. What are the things that you're looking for from the defense or from the guy in front of you before you put your 3 fingers down in the dirt and get ready in your stance?
See if he's going to try to slant in on me or have any linebackers coming towards me and making sure the person that I need to block is where I want him to be.
And is the old adage, you know, if their fingers go white, or if you know what I'm talking about,
yeah,
if you know if he's coming forward or if he's dropping back, can you read stuff like that too from your?
Sometimes a lot of D linemen, they like to turn their bodies when they're slanting, so you can really tell.
Well, I'm flipping to the defensive side for you. Obviously, you get some time there on the D line. Referring back to all that we just talked about, does that really kind of help you get in the mind state of what they might be doing quicker? And being able to read that and vice versa when you're on the D line and you see those offensive line kind of come up at a certain stance.
Yeah, being on both sides of the ball really makes me like smarter on both sides because when I'm in offense, I'm like, I would do this, and then and when I'm on defense, it's like he's gonna kick back too far, and then
there you go.
Yeah, that's just not a position I played, so I just was interested and intrigued with what kinds of things you look for. Talen, last week you held their best offensive weapon, Peyton Tolley, to no catches. Was that someone that obviously was keyed in on and prior to the game, and what was the message to the secondary to limit his touches?
Oh yeah, going into that game, we knew that he was huge. You know, we came out on the field for warm-ups and we're looking over there and just saw one big guy standing out, and you know, he wasn't really the fastest guy, but he was big, and, you know, when he got into open field, it was hard to stop him unless you hit him low. But just staying on him, staying with him, and keeping up with his speed, that really was just the key to stop him from having any catches. But not letting him touch the ball and get it in his hands was basically the key factor to that, you know.
Zain, the next question is to you. As a senior lineman now, what role are you taking with the line to get them to give 200% each play, 200% every game, and what is the thing that this line now needs to work on improving heading into the game and district play?
I'm trying to help them stop getting down on themselves because once we have a bad play, they just get down on themselves. And me and Kenyon trying to get them back up and trying to get them to go.
Yeah, football is one of those sports that, if you have a bad snap or a bad play, you got to flush it because you can't let it linger, or you're going to just have another bad play and another loss for, yardage. And well if that, with you being on offensive line and defensive line yourself, partner.
Oh, yeah. Well, as he's describing it, it's really important for the seniors, the guys, the local guys like Kenyon and the guys Zain here that, they are going to lead by example. So the more that they show, hey, you forget about that, you go on, we get it after the next play. And I'm sure, you probably had many of those instances Friday night dealing with Peyton totally on the defensive line as well, having to try to block him. I mean, he's a monster. That's probably, I imagine, a decent preview for what you might see from Ethan Downs a bit.
The good thing about that guy that's big, if he makes a mistake, he can't hide it. And he did it a couple times against us on Friday. But what are the keys, in your opinion, Talen, to upsetting Weatherford on Friday?
Ethan Downs, obviously, as you said, is a big part of their game. So I feel like containing him and keeping him in to where, he can't get outside and can't hit the gaps, especially they got a big line, a bunch of big guys up there. So our defensive line, they've really been stepping up a lot, same with our offensive line, but they're going to have to, stop him from opening up the gaps so much, and our DBs are going to have to collapse on that when they do run the ball to him. And that's going to be a big part of it.
And Zain, they have a new quarterback this year that's really not proven. Rattery has graduated. Is that something that's maybe being stressed in practice this week? We really need to get pressure on him and get him not relaxed and just uncomfortable back there in the pocket.
Yeah, I've been watching film. He really don't have the best footwork, and he doesn't like to scramble. So we're gonna try to keep him back there, and then hope our linebackers come finish him up.
So enough business. Let's get to know you guys a little bit here. Talen, and Zain, both of you for this question. What is your favorite subject in school if you have one? It can't be athletics. It can't be PE. Sorry.
I'm going to have to go with history. I like history.
Really?
Yeah.
You're a history buff, huh?
Uh-huh.
What's the favorite part of history?
Well, right now we're actually talking about, like, the Spartans and stuff and how they Julius Caesar, how he was assassinated. And I just think that's pretty – or Romans.
It's okay. It's all good. It's all good.
It's all the same stuff.
What about you, Zain?
Language arts, really.
Nice.
We're learning about a bunch of cool stuff in there right now.
And if you guys weren't playing sports, what would you be doing for fun?
Nothing.
Come on, you should know the answer there. These guys eat, sleep, and breathe.
Video games? Nothing?
Nah, it's sports. You got to have them.
There you go. I totally agree. Well, guys, I appreciate you coming on with us, and best of luck on Friday. Try to get an upset win over Weatherford, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Thank you.
And that was sophomore Talen Laird, the wide receiver and DB for the Boomers, and also the senior Zain Samarco, offensive lineman, defensive lineman for the Boomers. So on the other side of the break, we're going to talk to the head man himself. That's Coach Rick Luetjen. This is the Boomer Coaches Show on Z92.
Why watch the big games alone when you could stop by Longshots Bar and Grill to catch all the action? Longshots offers the best entertainment in Northwest Oklahoma and is open Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 a.m., and Sunday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Enjoy live music, great food, and drinks while you catch all the big games. There's always fun to be had at Longshots Bar and Grill. Call 580-256-1467 to book your next birthday bash or big reunion, then come on down to 810 Main Street to party with Longshots Bar and Grill.
Braxton was diagnosed with choroid plexus carcinoma, a brain tumor. St. Jude is helping us put away our fears. We have an amazing team that fights for the best outcome for Braxton. He has the best chance here. I don't have to worry that how much is that bag of fluid going to cost me? Can I afford it to save my child's life? The donations, they're paying for me to live every day with my son, be stress-free, and enjoy every day with him. I wish there was a word bigger than thank you, more close to the heart, because thank you's not enough. They've given me hope. They've given me my son.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Has your child swallowed your medicine, your laundry detergent, your nail polish remover? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you inhaled paint thinner, glue, pesticides? Call the Poison Helpline. Helpline. Have a question about a dose, a fume, something your kid just drank? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
And welcome back to Long Shots Bar and Grill. Brock Campbell, Tyler Riggs. Now we're joined by the head man himself, head coach Rick Luetjen. And coach, you another tough road defeat at the hands of the Bethany Broncos last Friday, 22-16. However, did some good things. Nash Hunter ran the ball for 73 yards, was a man amongst men. He was a man-child, basically. Sam Cheap threw the ball for just under 160 yards, 2 touchdowns, some good things that we're seeing. Just had the one play deep in the fourth quarter where the Bethany receiver got behind our guy, and give credit to Gray Adams for a nice ball, too. And if that doesn't happen, we could be talking about a victory instead of a loss. But when it all comes together, it's going to be pretty though. And your observations from Friday's game.
Yeah, I thought, again, kind of like we did against Clinton, I thought our kids played physical all night long and, were persistent all night long and played really hard. I thought we did some good things on both sides of the ball. I think our defense really stepped up and played extremely well. Again, the other night, we gave up a punt return and we gave up a safety, so 9 of their points, came that direction, or, we win the game if we don't give that stuff up. So I thought our defense played extremely well again. Offensively, we started out much better than we did against Clinton. We didn't wait around until the second half, until the end of the game to start, getting after it. I thought we did some really good things running the football, which is, what we were planning on doing coming in. Nash ran hard, but I thought our O-line, blocked really well for us too. And then we were able to throw the ball around a little bit. Sam had a couple nice deep balls that were big for us, and I think we'll continue to see that trend as we move forward and our passing game gets better each week.
Yeah, you actually outgained the Broncos 241 to 200 in total offense. But the one thing I want to talk about, one of the biggest improvements from this year 1 to year 2 is penalties. We played pretty clean. This team seems a lot more disciplined in playing cleaner penalty-wise.
Yeah, I think our kids have done really well with that. It's just something that, we try to preach to them in practice, but they've done a great job on their own, trying to do things the right way and not get a bunch of holding calls, not get a bunch of delayed games. Coach Pinkert's did a great job of getting the plays in on time on offense. So, we're getting the ball snapped in plenty of time without having to burn timeouts and get 5-yard penalties. And the kids have just been a little more disciplined, than what we were last year. I thought we were a little more haphazard with things last year, even all the way through the season. But they've started off well there. So those are big things, and those types of things will keep us in the football game and always give us a chance to win late in the game.
I love the resolve from Daniel Pinkert in this game. He misses a point after attempt, which we were talking about. College kids miss them, pros miss them. But he comes back and he shakes it off and calmly hits a 41-yard field goal right down central. If you were as pumped as we were to see that go through, then you were definitely in the majority with everybody else.
Oh, yeah, but, keep in mind, he was kicking on college goalposts.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. they were thinner.
They're way more.
I forgot about. Well,
I don't think they call
not
them thinner.
The
poles are the same width.
Yes, but
they're more narrow.
Thank you.
And
that's what I was trying to say.
But no, he was kicking that on college goalposts because that's what they have there at SMU, and so the miss wasn't too bad. I mean, it was just outside the upright, and he just hit it a little low, but. At first we weren't going to try to kick the field goal, and when Max got hurt on 3rd down, and that turned it into a 4th and long situation, that I knew Max was going to have to come out, one of our better deep threats, as far as throwing the football, then, I called up and told Shane, I said, let's get the field goal team out there and give Daniel a shot at it. I knew we were close enough within his range, so he even kicked that from 41 yards on a hash through the uprights on a more narrow set of goalposts. So that's pretty impressive. And that ball was kicked extremely well. Would have been good from another 10 yards. and we know he's got that capability. So it's awesome for him to get that experience in a game. Now, if we need to win a game with something like that, we know that's there.
Want to brag on somebody else too, Talen Laird, who we just had on the show. The progression he has made already from his freshman season to now in his sophomore season isn't even comparable. Offensively, he's boxing out, like you said, you like those basketball players, boxing out and using that big frame to high point the ball. Defensively, he made some really nice reaction plays on Tully last Friday night as well. He hasn't even begun to hit his ceiling. Talk about what he did or the coaches did to get him to where he is now in his sophomore season.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of that comes from his family situation. He's got an older brother that plays. They're extremely competitive. You know, he's in that situation 24/7, and he has been since he was a kid. So he's farther along than a lot of kids at that age. And then just body type in general, you know, the tall, lanky, you know, lean, athletic physique that he has is always great to have on the football field. And I think he's understanding how to use that length to his advantage. And he's just an extremely talented young man that's, you know, the sky's the limit for that kid. I mean, he's got the ability to go and play wherever he wants to play in a couple years if he continues to improve at the rate he's improving. But he just puts a lot of time and a lot of work into what he does.
And speaking of talent, Cole Parker, he's a freshman. He got his first start at Nickelback on Friday. He was involved in some good plays as well. This kid is going to be a star just like his brother, no doubt about it. But being a freshman and getting his first varsity start had to be a little nerve-wracking for him. But how were you able to slow the game down for him and take the nerves out? Because he didn't play nervous at all.
No, he didn't. And, again, I think you go to that same situation. He's from a extremely athletic family. He's got a brother that's been there, done that. You know, he knows what's expected of him. He's way ahead of, you know, where kids are usually at that age. He's probably ahead of where Drake was at that age, honestly. And to be able to go out there and play the way he did, and he's just naturally one of those kids, kind of like Sam is, that just don't let the pressure. They don't even know what pressure is. They really don't.
They're just young and they just go out there and play.
It just cracks me up because, like, watching Sam even during the game, but even on video afterwards, and you see a 6'3", 260-pound guy right here, and he's still holding the ball, getting ready to throw it.
Yeah.
And he doesn't care. You know, he doesn't feel that pressure. And Cole's a lot like that. He's a lot like that. He doesn't get nervous about it or anything like that. He just, his instincts take over. And both those kids and Talen as well all kind of follow those same traits.
Our opponent is Weatherford this week for senior night. We're going to talk about the Eagles on the other side of the break. You're listening to Boomer's Coaches Show on Z92. Boomers.
In times of fear, World Vision is there for the most vulnerable. For the last 70 years, we've been standing with kids and families through natural disasters, war, and disease, delivering life-saving aid and helping rebuild lives. And with every act of courage, faith, and love, we do more than just stop the spread of fear. We replace it with hope. Learn more at worldvision.org.
When the forgotten poor are suffering and in need of healing, they wait for a ship unlike any other. Mercy Ships, the largest floating civilian hospital in the world, with volunteer medical staff and crew who donate their time to save lives. Heroes of mercy, like these.
Every human being has the right to be treated as human, to have a place at the table of the human race.
If you could just see the look in a patient's eyes or the smiles that you get when lives have been changed, then it would make it all worth it.
We bring hope and healing to one person, but that person belongs to a family, and that family belongs to a community.
Together, these heroes of mercy and friends like you bring hope and healing to those who desperately need it. To learn more about Heroes of Mercy, go to mercyships.org today.
I'm Ernie Hudson, actor, cancer survivor, and father of 4. As a dad, there's nothing I wouldn't do to protect my kids from cancer. The human papillomavirus, or HPV, can cause 6 types of cancer, but the HPV vaccine can stop cancer before it starts. Girls and boys should get the vaccine at 11 or 12, and there's a catch-up option for teens and young adults. go to preventcancer.org.
And welcome back to Long Shots Bar and Grill. Brock Campbell, Tyler Riggs, still here with Coach Rick Luetjen. And Coach, our opponent this week is probably the toughest of the three non-district that we had thus far, and it's the Weatherford Eagles for senior night. Last year, I know we got beat 27-0, but really didn't seem that far off because we had driven the ball deep in their territory a couple times, just didn't score. Talk about Coach Roof's team this year coming off the state title loss to Poto from last season.
Well, they're still extremely talented. I mean, they lost their quarterback, which was extremely good, and then a couple of other guys, but they've got a majority of their kids back, and they're doing a little bit more of their run game on offense and taking advantage of their great running back that they have. Plus, they're taking advantage of the Downs kid and getting him the ball, and not having to throw it to him as much. They were trying to throw it to him a little bit more last year with the Rattery kid, but they're extremely talented. They're big. They're physical. They got a couple of 300-pound plus kids up front on the offensive line, so they're going to try to control the clock and run the football, and they were able to do that against El Reno and really put a hurt on them. But El Reno had some kids out, and don't think it was a good test for them. But they've been in a barn burner with Kingfisher, was able to put 50 points up, so they're talented, and it's going to take a great effort from our kids. But I feel like we're also better week 3 than we were week 1 and week 2 going into this game. So hopefully, our talent will show through and give us a good chance to get a win.
And Weatherford came back down 15 points to Kingfisher on the road and won that one 50-49. And you're talking about Ethan Downs. We of course all know about him. They're moving him everywhere this year. They're using him in the slot, in running back, at quarterback in the Wildcat, out wide as well. But you also have Sam Hoffman to deal with this year. Talk about the importance of the defense staying at home and not getting out of place this Friday against this team.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that Weatherford's definitely trying to do a little bit more this year. They're trying to be a little more deceptive, by, giving you one look and then going the other direction with it. And they'll do a couple of false pulls that they do, which most teams won't try to do. So they're really pushing hard on the deceptive part of it. But the fact is they've got the Hoffman kid at tailback, and they've got the Downs kid back there that they use at fullback or wing or wherever they end up using him at. And those are their two main running backs. And then the Malachi kid is their slot receiver, and he runs the ball almost as much as anybody does. He's had a huge game against El Reno, and he's got a lot of speed to go with it. So they're extremely talented. The quarterback's pretty much either going to pitch it to somebody or hand it to somebody, and that's what they like to do. So defensively, we're going to have to really stay home, read our keys, play with our eyes, and not let the smoke and mirrors, which Coach D calls it, fool you, and just do your job.
Other than that, are there any other keys to the game on Friday to getting that win at home?
Well, I think we're going to have to score offensively. I mean, like I said, we've seen them in a shootout with Kingfisher, and they put up 50 points. They put up a bunch of points against El Reno. So right now they're averaging a lot more points per game than we are. So we're going to have to go out and score some points. And hopefully our guys up front can handle their front six. And we've worked really hard on that this week. And I think our run game needs to be strong. We need to be able to do that. And then we need to be able to execute our RPOs when we pull it. And I think Sam's got to do a better job of seeing that and pulling it, making the right reads and the right throws.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming on as usual, and good luck Friday. We will talk to you then.
Sounds good. Thank
All
you,
right.
guys.
That was head coach Rick Luetjen, and we're going to keep it right here. Tyler, a big game coming up, probably, like I said, our toughest of the three non-district senior night festivities in town, but we're home finally. Seems like we've been on the road for a long time. This is a big game coming up for the Boomers.
Well, not only is it big,